So welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about variables in Python programming language. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so variables, let's say you are sent in the street to collect information. Okay, it is useful that you store the information in variables, so that if you don't remember necessarily the information, you can at least remember the name that you have assigned to the variables. So the main concept that govern, or the reason why variables were invented was to store information that may be useful. Just like in mathematics, you can store numbers, different numbers in the letter X. You can store different numbers in the letter Y. You can perform different operations using those letters. Let's say you are sent in the street. You are sent in the street where they want you to collect information about people. So you may want to collect the name of the person that you meet, but people that you meet in the street have different names. So you may want to store the information under the name under the variable name. You will see, as we, especially in the third video, why this is very important. So let's say you meet someone who is called John or James or Tadiwa. Let's say Tadiwa. Okay, so you can store the name Tadiwa in the variable called name. Okay, the variable, since it is called a variable, it can be changed. Okay, but you will see that in the future. So name, we want to store the name Tadiwa in the variable called name. We also want to store the age, Tadiwa's age, in the variable called age. Let's say Tadiwa is age 22. We also want to store the city in which Tadiwa lives. Let's say the city is Harare. But as you can see, name, under name, we have put the variable Tadiwa under quotation marks, which means Tadiwa is a string. You are going to learn more about what a string is, but basically a string, these are sentences. Mostly they are sentences in their alphabetical letters. You will learn more about this. Then the age, you have seen that I didn't put quotation marks there because age is an integer number. Okay, so there's no need for me to put a under quotation marks because it's a what? It's an integer, it's not a string. So strings are words. That is why we put them under quotation marks. Then city. Let's say Tadiwa lives in Harare. Okay, we have to put Harare under quotation marks since it is a word. It is a word, a name, so it's a string. Put it under. Then sex. Let's say Tadiwa is a female. Okay, so we have to put female under what? Quotation marks. So name, age, city, sex. These are 4 variables that are storing information. Okay, let's say we want to print out this. We have been storing this information inside our program. Let's say we want to print it out on the screen. We have to use the print function that we have learned in the previous video. Okay, so when we are using the print function in conjunction with the variable, we don't use quotation marks, since the variable stands for the string, which is already in quotation marks. So we don't have to put quotation marks. So print, then we open quotation marks, we open brackets, and then we just write name. If you put quotation marks there, it will print name. It will print the word name instead of printing that string. So we also want to print the city. We also want to print the sex, and then lastly we want to print the age. Okay, so in place of the age, we could have written age in under quotation marks. It's still fine. We could have written 22 under quotation marks as a string. It's still fine, but in this case, let's just leave it as a integer without quotation marks. So after that, we want to print everything. We want to run this small program so that we can see. We want to run this small program so that we can print out everything that we have stored in that order: name, city, sex, age. So when you hit run, you are going to print Tadiwa, Harare, female, 22. Since you had passed down name, city, sex, age under using in the print function. That is what the importance of variables. Okay, that is when you are going to appreciate more about variables. Have you ever seen that when you want to create a Google account, you have to go on Gmail and then you have to hit create account. Then it gives you a form for you to fill. In that form, you fill the name, you fill the age, you fill in the gender or the sex. You have to create the password. After submitting that email, if everything that you have input right there is valid, you will receive an email which will be telling you that James or Tadiwa or John, congratulations, you have created successfully a Gmail account, this and that. But those emails, they are custom email, in that the only difference between your email and the next person's email, if they create their account too, is the name that you have passed in. Let's say I have passed in that my name is Tadiwa, and then the person next to me has passed in that their name is John. The only difference between the two emails are the names, because the names were stored in two different variables that were passed inside the email before it was sent to you, so that your name, the variable name was replaced by your name and also the name of that other user. Okay, so we are going to create a similar program, a program that the user has to input their information. After inputting their information, then the information is then used to create a custom message that is printed for the user to read.